guys, welcome back to another episode. Last one, y nos vamos, mi gente. Woo! Dang, it's been a while since we've been having David on the pod.
Yeah,
How you been, David?
Hasta que se terminaron las vacaciones que me diste, Lorenzo. So,
ya quisiera, pero te las das tú mismo.
Ya paraste de mandar dinero, so I had to come back.
Damn, like that. Es que no se puede decir, pero en Teco sí me dejaste un buen hole in my pocket. Yes. Well, welcome back, Davis. Nice having you again. And then we do have a new guest here. Hello. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lily. I go by Frijolita.
Frijolita, Lily Bean.
Lily Bean.
Yeah. Yes. And then we have back with us. Who do we have back?
Miss Arlene.
Damn, Miss Arlene. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. She is on the engagement ring episode. All right, guys. So hopefully you guys have a great week this week.
Good so far.
Been
Good so
week.
far. Dang, did yours just starting or what?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay.
Es viernes.
Yeah. Hey, everybody's schedules differently.
Holy moly.
No worries.
Must be nice. No worries in the world.
We see who's the grumpy one here for the week.
His eye.
Dang. Well, maybe you guys get distracted on this episode today. And I don't know. I mean, for me, I don't know if you guys have heard, but, Robert De Niro, he's a great Oscar nominee winner. But I don't know if we can give him an Oscar nomination for this. Having a kid at 79 years old?
Sheesh.
79?
It was the right time, finally.
How many
kids?
Yes.
Well, he has 7 in total with this one. He just had it in April.
Okay, so it's not his first.
No, but it's
it was
like,
the first one.
technically speaking, and, knock on wood, but kind of, what would you say? Unos 15 años más o menos le faltan. So he might only be able to reach the age of the kid when he turns about 15. So he does have an older son. He's about unos 50. So he might have to be looking over him.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Holy smokes. Well, the guy's definitely not a loser.
No, he's not.
No.
Yeah.
He does have nominations and he has won them.
Yeah. No es un perdedor. He's got to keep it going
That's
in
it.
every aspect.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm trying to say. What are you trying to say with that? And every type of aspect, like he knows.
I mean, you got to respect the man.
In which way? You're trying to say like he gets the ladies still? Or like he's getting the Oscars?
I mean, you guys as men, what do you think?
You got anything to say, David, on this one?
If this was you.
I don't know. If it was me, I wouldn't be having kids at that age. Yo andar cuidando yo niños at that age,
No,
for real.
Bending over to pick them up at that age or whatever.
I can barely. No. My back already hurts.
They throw up your
At
hip.
almost
You
30.
throw out your hip, huh, David?
No,
At 79.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to be carrying you instead.
Yeah. Ahí nos cuidamos los dos.
¿Verdad? Nah, well, for me, if you're asking the question, I mean, I can say I'm half his age and I don't even have one, so I can already see that being difficult for me.
Same here. Ya nos duele las rodillas ahorita. Imagine a couple more years, double that.
No me puedo cuidar yo ahorita.
No, no sé si lo van a oír, pero el Dave es siempre enfermo.
I know, I'm sick again.
He's sick right now,
No,
so.
not before the summer. Hey.
Yeah, but guys, give him a break. He still showed up to the podcast,
Yes.
so we thank him for that.
It was a wild vacation that you sent me on. Y me enfermé,
Well, hopefully
Todavía
not
te está
too
haciendo
wild.
efecto.
Yeah.
It's the
It
weather
must
change.
not be that bad because, I mean, you guys are going to be going back soon, so.
Está falta. No, pero acá no te digo, he made a very, very big hole in my pocket and he keeps on going. Pero pa eso del dinero.
Hey, you're enjoying life. There's no price for that.
It's kind of
so.
crazy because you don't want to be Robert De Niro at 79 having a kid. You think that, hey, now that you guys say that, you think like that, is that going to be a stop for him? Is that like a pump the brakes? No.
No.
I'll probably have another one.
Sheesh.
He has one every decade?
Almost.
How old is the youngest?
I think
Do
the
you know?
youngest he had, if I'm not wrong, I think in 95. Because his son is like unos 50. So yeah,
The
so
oldest.
20. No, he had him before that, 95. He's like 50. Whatever, make the math. I can't think right now. My brain is actually burnt from working, so forgive me.
Some of us have jobs, you know.
Not in a bad note
We
either.
appreciate Friday.
Not in a bad note either, lady.
I
It's
don't know
just-
about that. Sorry,
It's-
stay home mom.
yeah, it's just that you say you were starting your week with the first comment. That's why, but no.
Sorry.
Nah, well, in reality, kudos to you because you are the only person in this room that has kids. So, congratulations to you. Yes, yes. So,
I want to
yeah.
be like you when I grow up.
And she is the youngest, so you can't even go there.
That's why he said.
No, but that's good. That's good. Yeah, on that one for sure. I mean, I don't know. That is grandpa status. Like,
Yeah,
would you
It
guys?
Grandpa
is,
already.
but like he was saying, like I'm not gonna be able to bend over, carry him, and do all that. But I mean, there's other ways and there's other things as a dad that you can contribute with. You probably won't be able
okay.
to run around with him, but I mean, at that point, you're financially stable. You are mature, about life, So I think les puedes dar, in that sense, more wisdom,
True.
some of these kids.
Very true. I just see it. I mean, if you're thinking about it in that way, you don't think like they're planning on having a nanny then, like just a backup.
pretty
Yeah,
sure.
to take care of the other things that you really can't handle at that point anymore. You have that luxury, especially someone like him.
Or, I mean, so you don't think, again, I don't have a kid, but seeing this gap difference, I mean, let's say, I don't know how old is the girlfriend or wife, but we're going to say she's at least unos half the age as well, just, because we know that women can't really reproduce that older of an age. I don't know what it is. For every race is probably different as well, because I've heard like Latinas are usually the ones that can have kids hasta los 42.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know if you guys have a story on that, but that's what people say.
I have a few family members.
So you don't think like she's gonna get tired of them, like, hey, like I'm doing all the work and you're not?
Yes.
I don't think she will. She's
won't?
in a good spot, bro.
Okay.
La está cuidando and everything, so.
Yeah.
So va a
And we're
cuidar a
talking about
dos.
not one nanny.
Yeah.
We're probably talking about a couple
Sheesh.
nannies. So
I just think about. Sorry,
no,
continue.
no. Go ahead.
No.
I was just gonna say it probably makes it a lot easier. So it takes away a lot of the responsibility that some of us would probably have as
Right.
middle class parents.
Yeah.
We're talking about a millionaire, somebody famous.
Like one of the Kardashians, don't they have like 3 nannies?
See, for one
Dang.
per child.
Wow.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
We all had that luxury.
Dang.
It probably no nos la pensáramos tanto.
Well, now that you guys going to the point of nannies, how would you guys think about nannies? Like, would you be up for it? You wouldn't? I mean, maybe the first child, maybe the second child, not at all.
That first child is actually the easiest. O sea, dice that they're the easiest.
Okay.
The first one is like, oh, let's go for another one. And then it's that second child that's, ya no más.
Okay. I mean, in your case, now that you're saying you have a child, is it like back to back, like 1 year old, 2 years old? Is it like a year old, 3 year old?
My
How
oldest
far
is
apart?
4, and my baby just turned 1.
So that was a good time. I mean, it's a gap. So
I
if
don't want to have them seguiditos.
No?
I know se dice in the Mexican culture, like, no, pues seguiditos y así, ya, they go to school together, you raise them, like, yeah, no, I didn't
Not
wanna do
without
that.
3 nannies, no.
No.
Say.
okay. It sounds like you got more to say about the nanny situation, Arlene. So
I mean, nowadays, especially both parents working, how else do you do it?
Yeah, eso
You
sí.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We have friends that I'm just like, man, they're like superheroes. I don't know how they manage to just be parents of 3, both working parents, and everything else that goes into it, plus trying to find time for them,
Right.
And I mean, they have their babysitter, which helps a lot. But outside of that, after hours, when real life hits at home, it's something else. I see it and I'm like, man, they make it look easy and doable, but I know it's not. It's not. And, it's not for everybody.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I used to think like, no nanny, if I was... if I had kids myself, but now, that has changed.
At what age can you remember what age you thought that? Like not having a nanny?
Probably in my 20s still.
Okay.
I mean, I thought, I'll have kids by the time I'm 26.
Right.
And so, you're full of life, full of energy, everything seems possible. And I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just now, with as busy as you want to be, and you're still trying to have a life of your own, I think the help is much appreciated and needed.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe something you have on the nanny situation, David?
I was gonna say, para están las abuelitas y los abuelitos.
Damn,
Not if you have an abuelita like my mom, but she's like, nope, I'm not handling any of that.
Voy a estar cuidando chiquillos.
Yeah, I can say that for myself too.
Oh, well, I guess I'm privileged.
Yeah, you are.
You are privileged, let me tell you.
Yeah, my mom, she's getting at the age que ya no, plus she already had 4 other ones to take care of, so she's
she
done.
definitely gave her disclosure.
I feel like she says that right now, though. Ya que luego ya, like, un little lencho, he's gonna
Little lencho.
I can kind of agree with that. I never, before I was moving on to saying what Arlene said almost, I'm just going to say that it was a surprise because my mom did tell me for the first time ever, we never hit the whole kid situation. But about 2 years ago, she was like, okay, it's time for you to have a family. And that threw me out of, surprise.
Como que,
Yeah, but like, even though, like, because I didn't really see it, like, coming from her.
Right.
Because my mom is just like me. I'm very serious, guys, even if you don't believe it. Pero, like, I was like, what? Like, you're really telling me this?
Right.
So on that note, I did think like you when I was younger. I was like, yo creo que a los 25 I'm gonna have one.
Right.
And it's kind of for the same reason because my parents are getting older. So I was like, hey, like I want them at least to see one of my kids. But then 25 hit and reality hit as well. I mean, that money, that moolah wasn't coming. So I was like, you know what? Fortunately, I'm gonna have to just say for myself, not at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, you bring it back to the whole De Niro situation. It's like, money does play a big part. He can have that luxury of, he could be 90 and continue to have kids. Does that really face him in a financial way? No.
I doubt it.
No. He can afford child support.
Yo creo ni los ponen los taxes.
But yeah, I mean, if he has a moolah, and I guess that is a big part of it. And maybe one of the reasons why I still don't have kids, especially here in California. Yeah. But then again, I do see it the other way around. Like, I mean, if you really put your mind to it, you should be able to do it. So
it's just a want. Do you really want to?
Yeah.
Maybe it just hasn't come to that point,
True.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in our 30s.
It's about in like early 20s.
But we are like the last of the family to be not in the young, but be right in the middle. And still be like thinking about financial. Because I don't think like the younger people from us, I don't believe they really think about financial like that, like we do. And I would say for the same reason, because we're gonna say we're okay, like and financially right now. In our 20s, we were struggling.
Right.
So I think that's what's pushing us to be like, dang, like I struggle so much, and otra vez empezar de nuevo. Yeah. Like even though we don't want that, right? We probably want a kid. But it's just like, dang, like...
Not right now.
Not really.
Yeah.
Like, you want to enjoy what you have right now.
Yeah, like it pulls us back.
Pensamos, I think, because we don't want to struggle as much. Porque de que se puede, se puede. You have those people who, aren't even working, and somehow they manage, But I think it's that. Ya se la piensa más uno, because you're like, no, I'm not trying to struggle. And you're enjoying life, maybe, you know? and your mindset changes.
I know I can speak for three of us. I don't know about you, David, but I think for the same reason this played role onto it, because my parents were strict on me, so they didn't let me enjoy life when I was younger. And now that I'm older, well, I can enjoy it because obviously I don't live with them, and maybe they give me a little bit more respect because they've seen how far I've came. But like, yeah, that plays a role as well. Like, I'm able to enjoy life without nobody telling me, kind of to be like, hey, come back at this time, or you know, ¿dónde vas? You know, but before, yeah, te quiero a las 10 de la noche back, or
I remember that.
It was just hard, yeah.
A las 10.
10 I think cuando like nosotros estamos saliendo con la gente está metiéndose, and they're like barely like, hey, this party's barely gonna start and you're already leaving. But yeah, that was how strict it was.
Yeah, like I never.
Ramon being like, oh, it's 10 o'clock, but in his clock, it's medianoche.
Yeah.
Yes, medianoche. Where are you at?
No, this is probably gonna be off topic, but I remember the first time me and my husband, back when we were still dating, the first time we went to Disneyland together, my parents told me like, be back here by 8. Apenas se está poniendo bueno. The fireworks, the parades, everything.
Wow,
No,
8 o'clock.
Yeah, by 7:30 ya me estaban hablando like, ¿dónde estás? Ya vente. Ya te quiero aquí en la casa. So I was like, man. So yeah, ahí vamos. We get onto the train to get to the parking lot, and that's where I hear the fireworks going out. So from the parking lot, I got to see the fireworks show.
Wow.
Because they wanted me home at 8.
Yeah.
And
So that's why
I see where they come from. Like, now that I'm a little older, you know,
But
we
8
think like,
o'clock?
oh, it sucks.
But 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock at Disneyland.
There you go. There you go.
Disneyland.
There you go. I told you he wasn't going to agree with us. I knew it.
Yeah. No, I can just see. I'm not saying, oh, that's what I would do. I can just see where they're coming from. Parents just worry, period. Like, they'd rather have you there where they feel like, okay, I have them here. I see them. They're safe, versus they're out. And tienes ese pendiente, that constant, you know, worry. Are they going to make it home?
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's where that comes from.
That is very true. And I think another topic that I want to hit, and you're kind of going with it, even though it's not, you know, it's the situation, like how can you work with it? One, again, we know our parents they were working hard and stuff. I don't know if this is the same for you, David, but like, imagine now Nick Cannon, he has 12 kids. He has 6 baby mamas, not in a bad way, just saying he has 6 different ladies that he had a kid with, and 12, like, how does he split to try and be in everybody's life?
I mean, this is assuming he is in their lives.
Yeah. He is.
I don't know him, but
he is. You know. He says publicly that he knows that's one of the reasons that, you know, it sucks, that he knows he doesn't spend so much time with his kids, even if he wanted to because of work. But like, I was part of that my parents, because they were working so hard, we didn't really spend much time. So now for me, if I was Nick Cannon, I'm like, bro, like I've lived it, that it was hard for my parents to be. And it's important now with you being 12, and you are taking, you know, consideration that, you know, this is going to be a problem. But like, why put yourself there?
It probably makes it fun. Imagine those Christmas parties. All those baby mamas sitting there at the table.
One table just for them.
He has a feast, really, if they cook, and if they don't, or if he else, whatever.
I'm
but
not
you know,
judging him.
yeah. Sheesh.
I don't. First of all, he's not even good looking, so I don't see how he has so many baby mamas.
Oh no! Don't cut us now, just because Lily.
You said he's not good looking?
He's not.
I mean, in somebody's eyes, he does have a smile, and you know those smiles will get you far.
Or can it play another thing like De Niro? That he has the moolah. I mean, he does so many shows too.
Maybe because he's so popular, like celebrity. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
True,
I mean, there's men out there who have that many kids, and they're not even.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Damn,
So I don't think it's just that factor.
Como dice Michael Kelso. Burn!
So if you were responsible, then I guess, I mean, it just seems difficult to try and split yourself and try to be a part of these children's life, and hopefully he is, and most likely he's trying to work with it. But yeah, that's my first thing. And then, like you said, the baby mamas, how can you get them all together? I think in one of the incidents he did say he traded the wrong Christmas card to the wrong baby mama. Yeah.
Oh,
How is that relationship though? The baby mamas.
You think they all get along?
Yeah, that's like.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's not like they
No.
live with each other. They have the option of getting along or not, you know, whether they want to deal with each other or
Right.
not. You don't really have to.
Would you
unless-
put yourself in that situation? Meaning, like you dealing with a lot of baby
That's a good
mamas?
question because, you know, I've thought about it recently and I'm like, okay, as the older I get, let's just say, you know, you're out dating at our age, that's something you got to like think about.
Right.
Y ya no vas a encontrar a alguien. I mean, how rare are the
yeah.
situations where you're going to find somebody who's single with no kids at our age?
Yeah.
Most people are already, you know, have
Right.
already started a family.
Married
comes
or
with
like with the house and stuff.
all the other aspects of it. So, you know, you just got to take that into consideration and
So it sounds
be
like you're
okay
open.
with it for the most part. So that's just reality. It's like, okay, well, if I waited that long to commit and, you know, start my own family, I just got to know that it's most likely going to come with that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
I never really
you know,
thought about that.
you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have been like, nope, that's not something that I would want to deal with. But reality is, ¿qué me voy a encontrar? Al menos de que me vaya a encontrar uno de 25 años, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think it's different from a woman perspective, right? For us guys, I think we're not gonna go with the older. We're gonna go with
Right,
the younger
with
for
the
the same
younger.
situation. Like we know they're able to still maybe have kids. And for you probably have to go with the older because you want them to be mature.
Yeah.
You want them to like stay at
Yeah.
home, be a stay-at-home dad already because you don't want it. You don't want to babysit two people now.
Right,
You want to make sure
right.
that person's at home.
And so some of these baby mamas that you guys are talking about, that's probably what they're thinking. Let's just say they're in their 30s, maybe early 40s.
Right.
They're looking at all those things.
Yeah.
Well, the
All these
oldest one is
qualifications.
the
you know?
oldest is Mariah Carey remembered. So
They had a kid together?
Right.
they had 3. I thought they only had 2, but they
right.
had 3.
I thought they were
And I
just
mean-
I
dating.
didn't even think they had a
They were married.
Really?
Yeah, they were
Oh,
married.
no.
Yeah.
That was love right there. I mean,
Whoa.
you can't say, oh, she did it for the money or.
Yeah, you cannot say that. Yeah, that's you know, when they got together, I was like, well, okay, you know, because so right now he's 42. So he started having kids when he was 32, 31. So consecutively he's been having, even though it doesn't go this way, but he's been having one like per year. But he does have 2 sets of twins. So that's why it doesn't match up. But imagine having a kid every year.
Wow.
So how would you feel, Lily? Because you
birth control.
because you're separate, you know. Your gap was a little bit different. Now imagine you having a kid for those 4 years.
No. Ya con los dos, I couldn't. Even after I had my first one, I was like, no, ya no más. I was in the hospital. I was like, no.
Oh, that's another thing that we don't, you know,
Not
we
again.
focused so much on just the daddy part of it,
Right.
you know, but what about mom and everything that they go through? But I mean, that's a whole different topic, a whole different episode.
Yeah. Sure is.
Because, you know,
I'll
Yeah.
come back and give my birth story.
No. Well,
and see, maybe that's why a lot of these men, it's just like, it's a lot more easy because they don't go through all these
like they don't
struggles.
have a stop, right? Because I mean, being a
No,
younger
no,
woman, like for
no.
sure, okay, let's do it.
I think I had read somewhere one time that men can produce until
Well,
Pues ya ves,
79?
79, yeah.
Well, ahorita que dijiste de birth control, I mean, I don't know if any of us know any man that have been taking that birth control pill that came out.
oh goodness.
It's
Yeah.
actually real?
Yeah, I think they bring the study they made it already, but like, I
They
mean,
talked about the side effects.
nah, it's still too early.
Oh.
I think I barely heard it this year
Interesting.
or last year.
Huh, I didn't know about that.
Because, well, I don't know. Have you ever taken birth control?
I have.
There is so many side effects.
Yeah.
You are moody.
Gain weight.
Like, you gain weight. There's just like so much
You
that
start
comes with
breaking
it.
out so much.
Yeah. So it's not fun.
I wonder if the
Yeah.
men are gonna have those.
Same.
But you guys can
Yeah.
get a
So imagine a
vasectomy.
man being all moody.
You guys can
and-
get a vasectomy.
Snip, snap, snip.
Yeah, and then later on, if you decide
my
like, oh, I want to have kids now, you can get it reversed.
Really?
Yeah, you
yeah.
can.
I don't know how that works,
Yeah.
so I'm really surprised on it.
So that's why, like, I
Yeah.
told my husband, like, yeah, we're good with our two, but it's like just in case, we should just get snipped. But
Wow,
it is a little pricey.
He's really young.
A
I
little-
think that's a little too young to decide.
but
No, but we're decided like that's it, and I am absolutely terrified to get pregnant again. So.
I'm sorry, but can you guys elaborate on it a little bit? If you guys know a little bit more on it, like how it works. I mean, it could be reversed, but like
know.
anytime you
Enlighten
want
us.
it.
I don't know how it works. I just saw it on an episode of The Office.
Oh, okay.
Snip, snap, snip.
Dang. No, I knew like
get it
I thought it was once and that's it.
No,
you
on
can't
women.
reverse it.
On women, once you
Nowadays,
get
you
your tooth
can do
tied,
anything you set your mind to do.
But I've heard like obviously everything has been getting updated, but I know I knew this pareja that she got it tied up, but she still had a kid.
Really?
Like because
yeah.
because it's
That's
not
very
that
common.
high rate of what like
Effectiveness?
yeah, or like
I mean, I guess it goes both ways too, because there's stories where the guy gets a vasectomy, and then later on his
What happens?
wife gets pregnant. It's like how it's like, well, sometimes it just one
And
of
it's
those
from
get
him?
through.
attaches.
Yeah, just
Is
one
it
of those
his?
little.
I
guys
mean, we
get
would I mean,
I got questions.
But I mean, it's less painful for you guys than for us, because that's a whole
Yeah.
different like
That's
surgery.
true,
and
from what
stuff.
I've heard.
So for you
I can't
guys,
say.
just go
Yeah.
snip, ponerse hielo, and that's it.
ponerse hielo.
Yeah. Oh, exacto.
So I'm sorry before we move on, David. So let's say it does happen, you're with someone, you got it snip and they get pregnant. Are you gonna give not a
Sale uno
birth?
güerito, huh?
No,
That's
no, but
de
are you gonna
color.
do like a what's it called when it's like yours or not?
DNA test?
DNA.
Yeah, like a DNA test.
Paternity.
You would do a paternity test.
I would have a bunch of questions. I'd be like,
Question number one.
yeah.
That's like come on, let's go to the doctor situation. Like
Steal a hair when the baby sleeps.
There's no wrong answers. I do want to know what you have to say about that.
I would be in question. I would question it,
Yeah.
and it would bug me. So I would go get it.
yeah, like
tested,
you've been wanting to.
Because knowing that you got that procedure done, it's like you shouldn't be like, that's why I got this done. And then,
But then what if the girl throws it on you? Oh, you don't believe me?
oh, of
But
course
I'm
we're gonna
assuming
ask.
you go
we
into
know,
a
yeah.
relationship. Once you're serious enough, you guys have this
Yeah.
this conversation. She should know that you went through.
Dang,
That's true. You
should
now
let
you
the
made
girl
me
know.
think, like, imagine, like, hey, you get a snip, but I don't want to go to the doctor and find out. Like, te usó, vale. They're like, I
That's true,
used
huh?
you. I mean, that's how I would feel. Like, damn, you really used me that bad? Like,
Like I got a vasectomy and I still can't go get.
yeah, that's how a man would feel, to be honest. Like I was very open to you, because I mean, if we're making that decision, we're really into the relationship. We can agree, right? But then you say no. Like, honestly, now you made me think. Like, I think I would just cut it there too. Like, hey, I'm done. Like, you're not willing to do this for me, then I'm good to go. Hey, I think you have to, for legal reasons, you have to try and do it before it's born. If the mom is willing to, or if you get a court order to go get a DNA test, because after that, I think it automatically becomes yours. So
Whoa.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Me either.
Yeah, it becomes crazy, because like even
Tag you're it.
no, but because like I've heard, like, if you, let's say,
Finders keepers.
kind of, it works like that. Unfortunately, it's funny, but it works like that now. If you guys put yourself in a man perspective,
Wait, what state?
California.
Oh Lord.
So if, let's say, you're with someone, right, and you find out a year later that it's not yours, you're technically still responsible until you get that DNA test and prove it. Now, the lady can make it hell and be like, nope, 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 nope. So, and let's say you're with a woman that had a kid and you guys become together, you're responsible for that kid that she has because you took care of them for whatever time.
You marry somebody that has a kid, then they legally...
Yeah. It's legally basically yours. Yes.
What? Aren't you supposed to like adopt the child though?
Not in California.
Really?
Wow. Law 101 with Lencho.
Yeah, well, there's like a lot. It's just depending on the scenario. Maybe for some cases it is, some cases it's not.
Okay.
But I know like most of the time these other questions are like asked like, hey, if I didn't know and you basically agreed to it that it was yours at that point in time because you didn't think anything of it. But now you have to go to court case and basically dismiss it, saying that it's not yours and prove it.
I'm assuming this only happens like at birth. Like if you're there as the father, they add you on the birth certificate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was
That
saying.
makes
Like
sense.
after
that makes sense. You get added onto the birth certificate. Then later on, you have questions. You get this whole DNA test done, and then you come out, you're not the father.
O que te lo tira en la cara diciendo no es tuyo.
Then
and
that's
you got
when
that
all those
question.
legalities take place. Okay.
But I think now se puede hacer a paternity test while the woman is pregnant, no?
I think so. That's what it was.
It's dangerous. I think they put like this big old needle to try to take fluid out. Yeah, it's not that easy. Yeah.
Never mind. Don't put them through that.
Well,
that way you don't have to like wait and then,
I guess.
Let's say it's not yours and you are on the birth certificate and then todo ese rollo.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think you can do it before it's born, but like I don't know the procedures. If that's one of the procedures, then right. I mean, it's kind of rough.
The woman goes through the pain, so.
But I mean, we go through the pain too mentally. Yeah, we go through the pain as well as mental.
But it's not as.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I guess
it's
I
mental.
can't speak for you guys, but I mean, it's just
imagine
like,
being cut open. Like you're not.
It's just again, yours is like physically, and we're mental.
Oh,
so it's like
both physically and mentally.
Yeah, I guess you do generate it.
You guys can walk right after.
Damn, you see how
we had to go through the whole quarantena.
Yeah.
I think
it's
men
like
are
having
too
a
sensitive.
child, I've heard.
What?
When they do that procedure.
Oh, that procedure. No, I'm just trying
like
to.
A quick little peekaboo for you.
I'm just trying to put the perspective. Like, I don't feel like you guys have feelings. I think the man gives their feelings out more than anything.
Well.
Because you guys do like you're putting it like it's just the pain, and again, we don't go through it, so we can't say. But it's not like we're saying like, oh, that's not painful. Like, imagine if I just said that right now.
Right.
So, and in my perspective, I'm saying, dang, well, it's like mental, it's like dragging. And for you, you're kind of seeing it like, no, well, we're going through pain. But for us as men, once I'm speaking about myself, you want to put more into it. Like, once you give yourself like fully, like, that's a very hard, like, ¿qué haces? Like, you put so much effort to that relationship that you're like, damn, like you're basically, you own me, but now I found out this, like, damn, that's
I see.
Mentally, mentally, it's like very drastic.
It goes both ways, though,
Well, it's not like me trying to tell you like who you had a kid with is gonna help. Like, that's me putting myself so low if I start reclamándote, like, stuff like that.
You just had me think. Well, actually, somebody was just telling me the other day, in our 30s, a lot of women want to date, older guys or whatever because they're really looking for a provider. I think they're setting everything else. But that's going off topic, but... So a lot of times I could see why they wouldn't,
they wouldn't care like the filling situation.
They're trying to put their kids first and their kids' needs first and then them.
It makes sense maybe because you guys have that bond with the kid. So you know you're kind of getting older already. And
Well, what I mean is, you're talking about the betrayal that goes behind, a woman lying, right?
well, but I think we went off topic by saying like, it's this position. She cheated on that position.
Right.
She's just doing it because she's kind of planning it.
Right. Well, that's a whole different
Yeah, it's
conversation.
a different conversation. True.
And why a woman would lie. I think a lot of it goes back to that.
But interesting. I mean, is it interesting for you?
Yeah, I mean, I see why a girl or a woman would do that, because they're looking for somebody to provide.
Right.
And if you're not providing, I guess for us it sucks, like
vete a la fregada. Like, you're good
But you
enough.
know what? I think most men, especially as you get older, you do want to be a provider. It's just something in you guys.
Oh,
For the
yeah,
most
yeah.
Oh
part.
yeah, and
No,
it's like
yeah.
it's like I would always say, if I ever have a kid, my wife, I would want her to be home, and I'll
Right.
take care, first 2 or 3 years.
But sometimes maybe that gets turned around. Se dice que es un machismo.
Is it?
I've heard
It
people say it.
depends.
I heard people say it.
Okay,
It
porque
depends who
trabajan.
you're dealing with. Some women go with it. Some women are very,
Again, everybody to their own.
Era.
It depends, and I guess it's just depending everybody's relationship, right? I mean, I was just throwing it out there just to make it kind of fun.
Right.
But yeah, it's a whole different topic.
No, the way I see it, just like, well, you just gave birth, and like, maybe
It takes a whole
takes a
year
lot
for
for
us
you,
to recover or more.
Damn, David, you're such a great man. Great man. You
Well, I mean,
are.
after I had my
Pon
first
su Instagram por ahí.
After having my firstborn, I was supposed to go back after like my maternity leave. I couldn't leave him.
Yeah.
I couldn't. So I called them. I called HR and I was like, "Hey, I know I'm supposed to go back like tomorrow, but I can't. I can't
That's
leave
cool.
my
That's
baby."
good.
She was like, "Oh, you're fine."
Yeah,
She's
I
like,
think a lot
"It's
of moms
okay."
go through that too.
Yeah, no, he was not even a year old yet, and
Right.
I already had to go back. No,
Yeah.
I couldn't. So my husband was like, "Quédate."
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
tell me
yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
I mean, on this cases, it sounds like we're putting the kids first, and that's great.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. I mean, everybody's gonna deal with it however they want, but
It's because luego
you
también
know.
daycare is very expensive.
Yeah.
Real talk.
That's why I said, están los abuelitos.
Yeah, my suegra does not mind.
Hey,
She loves her grandkids.
what if, I'm assuming we all come from like a good family.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
why we
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
grandparents into consideration. What if you don't have a good relationship with your parents? Or what if you don't
That's-
agree with a lot of their upbringings?
That's a different topic as well. I mean, and that's a topic I
But-
do want to speak about because it's, I think it's generational trauma. So that's a good topic there.
Right.
So hopefully in the future we talk about that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, good point. What if you don't have a parent? I mean, in my case, unfortunately, if my wife or girlfriend agrees, I would just have to bust my ass off, work from 7 to 7 or 7 to 10, and hasta que pueda. I mean, I don't really. It's not that I don't have a choice,
Right.
but like if I'm trying to have that goal,
Okay.
then yeah, I have to do it.
And you're talking about you working harder so
Yeah.
that she can stay at home
Correct.
and raise your family.
Right.
Oh, I see. I see. But living in California, whew,
Well, that's another thing. Like, I mean, again, like it goes both ways, right? And again, it comes with your partner, because what if your partner has family somewhere else, another state or something like that, and she wants to go over there? Well, obviously, you have to work it out and figure out what works better for you.
right. Well, I salute you because for a man to step in and say he's going to work and she gets to stay home takes a lot.
Well, my husband does.
Well, it's
stay
like
home.
a two-way thing.
Yeah, it's a
it's not
two-way
easy
thing.
for a woman to be home taking care of kids either,
He's like saying all the right things right now.
No, it's true though.
Well, it is. It's
That's why we got him here, because he's seeing different
I mean, it's
perspectives.
friega, being
Oh,
at home,
100%.
and
Yes.
it's not easy.
Right.
It's not like you're just playing around all day.
Chilling.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you would hope so.
Yeah.
You would hope so. But again, that's another topic for another day.
True. Well, I mean, hopefully, so me saying the 25, any of you had that thought maybe that you guys want to have a kid at this certain age?
I had my first at 24 or 25.
But that's what you always wanted?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Or you hadn't thought about it?
I was just like, go as it goes, I guess.
Yeah.
My husband didn't want kids, pero... Ni modo.
She lives life differently then.
Yeah.
You know, we have the overthinkers, and I think that's where we fall back on.
Well, I mean, is that true, David?
What?
Like, did you ever think about having a kid at a certain age, or you just went with the flow?
I think I thought about getting married first and having a kid. So I was like,
Okay.
I would want to
Same.
get married at this age before I have a kid.
Can we know what age?
One here?
I thought like, like early 30s, like
Really?
yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Está bien.
Yeah, and like get married and maybe like 2 years after or something end up having a kid. You want to enjoy yourself, your time with your
Yeah.
your other
The newlywed.
yeah.
Está bien.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
I thought about that before having kids,
Está bien.
Yeah, I'm with them on that one.
Yeah.
It reminds me
Yeah.
of Rachel Green from Friends. Am I the only Friends fan?
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
But tell us.
Never mind. there's an episode where everybody turns 30, and this one is Rachel. They're celebrating her, and she's like all bummed out because like everybody has their like life together, and she's like she doesn't have anybody. Was like she's like hooking up with someone, but she doesn't have a husband. And
Right.
she's like, well, at least by 30, I wanted to be married. And she just like goes on like she had this whole plan by 30, but it just didn't go that way.
Right.
Well,
So I think
isn't that
sometimes-
something?
That's why I
We
need
all
her
go
to just
through
like
it.
go because nothing's gonna go as planned.
No, it's not,
Yeah.
And it's
But we think we do. We don't know that
Yeah.
until you're actually there and you're like, oh, I said 25, but just kidding. No.
Dang, that was a shot dog to me. Sheesh. He said, yes.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'm with you on, both. I had said 27, at least 27.
Yeah.
And when 27 rolled around, I was like, nope.
Psych.
But the same thing, I had said, I want to be married first. And, it doesn't play out the way you want it to play out or how you imagine it. And when the time's not right, why even force it?
Yeah, I think things just need to be right,
Yes, they got to feel right. Y así se nos va a ir la vida.
79. It's right at 79.
It's still not right.
No.
With you making that comment, what is the oldest you guys would try to have a kid? I mean, I know Lily is already. Maybe you can still give your
How
opinion.
am I younger, already married with 2 kids?
Well,
It was just right.
yeah,
It was right. It was. It really was.
pretty much.
Yeah. You seem happy.
Yeah.
So, what your
let's
guys
see
thought
what
was the oldest that you guys would basically give up, or not give up, but not think about it so much, maybe? Like, be like, if it comes, it comes.
35.
Pues ustedes, I mean, you guys can wait until you're 90.
Yeah, I guess it's not.
Encontrarse una de 20 tantos.
Nah, pues por eso.
Una
Por eso
morrita.
no. Ahí la
Allá en
verdad.
el malecón.
Ey, y tú probado con un
Oye, chiquitita.
Oh, man.
Oh.
No, I don't know, maybe like 30, 35, 36 would be the
Yeah.
oldest.
That's like,
Really? Jeez. That seems young to me.
Between
Or even-
23 and 35, I think it's good to start having kids. After 35,
35.
I think, after 35, I think it would be like,
For a woman, right? Like, isn't
Right.
it more complicated?
Yeah.
Is it complicated?
I mean, I don't think so because we got some
Time is-
tia. I mean,
well, all of a sudden 40s doesn't seem bad to start having kids. Too old, quite honest.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's respectable.
Yeah.
And I know on your guys' side of the family, you guys did have and even my mom, she had me like around 42. So
No. Well, there you go. It's doable.
And it's kind of, you guys brought it back to memory because when I was already like 5, probably 7, my mom would ask me, do you want another brother? And I would say yes. So imagine 40 and having another one. And then she apenas podía conmigo, not to have another one. Like, hey, maybe it was a good thing she didn't. And there's one question I have for you, Lily. And now that you're the youngest that had kids, I never really seen you interact with kids. So for me, I don't interact with kids. I never really did because I didn't have baby sisters or brothers or cousins that were small. So now that I feel like you're great with them, but I never seen you do it. Now, for example, before Arlene, if you guys don't know, they're our sisters. She had to take care of her, and I know David as well had brothers.
That's a whole other video.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to say
She
that.
didn't like me.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, I'm trying to say it because, like, even though it wasn't nothing bad, it did affect me. And the way that my sister told me when I was already 11, didn't have a baby sister or brother, she was like, again, I don't know how to deal with this, but my niece was crying and she's like, why you don't get her? And it's just like one, for me, I've always mind my own business, so I'm not gonna get your baby that I don't even know if you want me to touch her. And second is like, I didn't have little brothers or sisters, so how you want me to take? Yeah, like, would you want, like, how am I gonna take care of the situation? You get me? Yeah. But I basically, it affected me because I do remember that from 11 years old to now. So I don't know if you guys noticed it. So I don't interact with little kids when they're like 12 and younger. Like, they have to at least be 1, 2, 3 to be able to do it comfortably.
Oh, I see.
Well, we used to take care of foster kids. So from the age of, what was like 13, 14, we started taking care of foster kids. So de ahí, it was like a
Pero
practice.
nomás una que estaba like baby, ¿no?
We had a few babies. And we had teenagers, babies,
Yeah, I remember the
like baby
teenagers.
babies and toddlers, so más grandecitos. So I mean, I think that was kind of like my practice.
And you felt comfortable?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I helped my mom with everything, so I mean, yeah. By the time I had my kids, I was like, okay, I kind of knew. I didn't know everything,
Right.
but I knew something. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
Right.
Okay.
It's crying. What do I do?
Like me? Stop! Hey, that's why I didn't even want to, what if I like grab it and something happens and then I'm the blame for it because hey, so I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, my sister was like, ¿por qué you don't get her? And I'm like, okay, like, I guess I did bad for trying to get her.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think because of that, I think too, my mentality is a lot different with the whole having kids situation as well. Because to me, it's like, okay, let's just say I don't have any of my own, biologically.
Right.
I'm okay with adoption. So I always have that in the back of my head.
Okay.
There's so many kids out
I
there
would
that need
love to
help.
adopt half a dozen,
Okay.
and I'm okay with that. I can
Right.
give all the love that they need, and I'll be happy with that.
All right.
So yeah, I can be 40 something and
And
still-
Yeah.
still be a mom.
okay.
Do what I gotta do.
Well, that's the other thing. Now that you brought that up, I think that's where it becomes harder for me to try and adopt one because I mentally have that struggle of be like, I want to go ahead and try myself to have my own or try to know that bond to be like, I was able to do it even though I didn't have little kids, meaning, when I was younger, tried to do it, like try to at least have that bond.
Right.
Because if I do it if I adopt, I don't feel it's the same for me.
Oh, that's a good.
Now with David, I've seen David randomly get kids, and he's great at them.
Well, randomly, like,
Well, not randomly,
Words.
not randomly, but like with your cousins, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
you have your niece too, and you're like great with them. You're natural with it, even though you don't have any kids yourself.
yeah. I think I've been like that my whole life.
Right.
Just me llevo bien con kids, and
Yeah,
I
you
used to
have
work
said
at a
that.
school and también me seguían and, you know,
No,
You
está
have
bien,
that-
está bien.
Charisma.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I get along with them and they get
But
along
you
with me.
enjoy it too.
Oh, yeah, I
You said
enjoy it,
'cause
too.
you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always said if I did a different career path, it would be like a teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Just to be, you know, kids, they're
I
they're
could
cool.
see it. I could see it. Like
What-
a cool math teacher.
What age group?
I want to do like maybe middle school or like
Sí,
or like
puro
high school.
tremendo.
Yeah.
See, same. I've never said like, oh, I want to work with kids, but a lot of my jobs have like involved, you know, working with kids, and now I know that that's the age range that I want to work with.
Dang,
they are
really?
difficult. I'm not gonna say
Right.
they're not, but they will pick your brain. You know,
And so you love that challenge.
I do. I do. And you have so much you can offer at that age range.
Right.
You can still
Yeah.
kind of guide them versus like when they're in high school already, they kind of have their mindset already. And when they're too little, it's a whole different, you're just trying to keep them alive.
yeah.
Yeah,
Try to keep
so-
them busy.
Right.
Nah,
and
never
middle
saw
school
that.
age is like you can still get to them, you know, teach them.
And they're looking for something
guide
like
them.
that,
Make them
right?
think, kind of like reflect on their
Right.
decisions or
Yeah.
something, you know.
You know, whatever you've gone through, whatever you've learned in life, we're at a good age where we can kind of be a good guidance.
It's crazy you say that because I just heard recently on a podcast somebody saying that if they have a child and, you know, their way to do schooling would be from elementary, go ahead and do it public. From middle school, for them to do homeschool, and then in high school, go back and do public. But for that same reason, because they're like, in that middle school age, they're like very like they're picking on what they want. And then they're basically realizing what they are, what they want, or, you know, what they
Right.
want to be.
The whole self identity.
Right.
Yeah, like middle
It's
school's
not-
hard, you
it
know,
is.
like
It's
it sucked.
brutal.
I hated middle school.
Really?
I don't
Yeah.
even remember middle school.
That was like my best ones for me.
I think so too.
For me, no, I hated middle school.
Really.
Yeah.
I was so naive.
Yeah.
I was just like, ooh, toot.
No, like you start seeing things, you know, like I remember being in middle school, you'd see
Yeah.
kids with hickeys, you'd see
Oh, yeah,
kids
yeah.
smoking, like what
Yeah.
the heck, you know? Someone's pregnant, what the heck, you know, like
Right.
How?
yeah.
Yeah.
When you
see,
just
like,
got
yeah, now I
out of when you got out of elementary, you know,
Right. They're still kids.
Yeah.
I remember there was a couple girls that were pregnant at that age
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like, oh, wow. Okay.
Like me, and for myself, I feel the same way. Like I saw all of it, but because I feel that in a young age, elementary, I was able to do stuff, adult stuff, like not adult stuff, but like they let me do stuff, like walk
Okay.
to school by myself. Like it was just like, you know, okay.
I can't relate. To
No?
be quite honest, in that aspect, I can't relate. I think I was more okay with it because I'm not very judgmental. I like to think I'm not very judgmental, so everything is just like a.
But if it's not me, it's what
everything
it's
happens for a reason. Not
Yeah.
everybody lives the same life, so it was more like that. You know, I grew up so sheltered that anything that was different, it was just more like, oh wow, you know,
It was a surprise, but not like.
but not like in a negative way.
No, yeah, me either. Like it wasn't a negative way. Like I was
Right.
just like, what the heck? It was just
Right.
crazy.
It's
to me.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. So was it mind blowing to you?
It was not
It was just like,
necessarily
okay,
mind blowing, but just you know, that there's different things out in the
Right.
world. Not
Yeah.
everybody lives the same life. That this little shelter life where they want to keep you in a little crystal ball.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it just seemed appealing in a sense.
No.
Did you ever see it in a way of like, oh, I want to be like that?
No.
Yeah, see, like I didn't see it that way either.
See,
like
no,
like, oh wow, that's crazy.
yeah, that's
but
like, oh, good for them
Yeah.
or bad for them,
Yeah.
but you know,
I'm not gonna follow that path.
that's just
you know, it's like
right.
You were just
Yeah.
glad you
Right.
weren't in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
And
you
it
kinda
makes
just-
sense.
You know, look at it and you're just like, okay, life.
Yeah.
You look at life a little bit differently. Everybody goes through different things, you know. And I mean, talking about like the girls that were getting pregnant at that age, it's not, you know, my first thought was never like, oh, she's out just being
Yeah.
wild.
No, yeah.
No, like at that age, I already knew, okay, there is so many other ways that could have happened. And so, you become a little bit sensitive to that. And especially with my background, I think, like, I always knew I wanted to work with people. So I knew, like, there's so many things you got to take into consideration and be sensitive and, be there as a friend.
Right.
Right.
I didn't like middle school.
You didn't. Why?
I don't know. I feel like I got picked on a lot.
Okay.
I would be like myself and stuff. So, yeah, like I would see stuff like that, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not going into that,
Right.
And yeah, I just didn't like it. I made my own business, but I would get picked on, and
Okay. Would you say it was like bullying?
Bullying, yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll see. I can see why then.
Yeah. That's true. I mean,
Kids are cruel at that age.
And like, I had friends that I would hang out with, and then all of a sudden they would change just to try to be cool,
Right.
So it'd be like,
It goes back to the whole self-identity thing. They're trying to figure themselves out. They feel like all eyes are on them at that age. So it's like, okay, everybody's watching me, when it's like in reality, nobody's really watching you.
and especially like if you had a brother that was already in 8th grade, right? You almost like try to bump yourself over there as well, like to stand out.
Right.
Yeah, I remember
We never
that.
got to go to school
different
together,
times.
huh?
I'm sorry?
We never got to go to school together.
No.
Like Jessica was.
I did with my
Henry?
brother. I think that's who I was like close to.
Yeah.
Me and my brother, and like he had his friends, and when we would hang out, and I'd have my friends, we would hang out and stuff like that.
That's nice.
I was
I
such a
always
nerd.
wanted that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have like a certain group that I hung out with all the time. It's, I was friends with everybody, but I did have a cousin in high school. So I remember at the beginning, I was hanging out with her, and that was a wild ride for myself, because I would just sit there and listen, and I'm listening to all sorts of things that I had not been exposed to. These.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like put you in a bad spot, but you think maybe because you were so smart that they were using you to do your homework?
No.
I mean, I don't know.
No, I think it was me. Like, I was a freshman.
Well, I'm
A
saying
lot of my
middle
friends
school.
had gone to a different school, the ones that I used to hang out with. I used to hang out with a cousin, and she eventually moved out to a different state. So it's just trying to find somebody to sit with during lunchtime, even though you couldn't really identify. Like, they would talk about some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it was crazy back in the day.
Because she had a
And
different mind.
I really didn't know how to process it. I think it was just like I would listen to it, and it was just like, oh, okay. And it wasn't until way later in life that I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about. It clicked. And then after that, I think you just kind of I found my little like crew, and then, taking AP classes, you meet other people, and you kind of just hang out with those people. But.
Well, going back to, Nick Cannon and Robert De Niro, well, kudos to them because, they're still having kids. I feel proudly to say that because I don't have my own. So, congratulations. I guess, yeah, you're right. El que puede, y ellos pueden, as you obviously, as we can tell, porque uno tiene 7 y el otro tiene 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine you had 12 kids.
Apenas puedo con los dos.
Hey, my soccer team.
And you have cambios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No, gracias.
Yeah, that's
you're 2
Yeah.
over
okay.
there.
kudos to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, if you can do it, why not?
Yeah, same thing what Dave was saying.
Yeah.
Ya me sacaron hasta las canas verdes.
Dang. Mine come from DNA, so I can't agree with you over there. See, if I have a kid and I already have Kana, so that's not going to be
I don't
my
have any
case.
kids y también a mí ya me están saliendo.
Déjame decirte, I think it's your age more than anything,
Well,
pero
those white canas will turn into green canas. Let me just tell you.
And I have
I
a
guess
lot of whiteness.
so. Dang. Pues antes que pase eso, I guess I'm just going to have to dye my hair green.
There you go.
There's one way.
They're just for men,
Well, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have fun. Thank you, Laylee, as the new special guest coming in and
you for having me.
being part of this.
Thanks for inviting us, Lorenzo.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
I like the new setup.
Oh, you like the new
Yes.
setup? All right. Well, you guys were.
You guys were last video.
Yes, thank you. Well, you guys were kind of the guinea pigs because we still hadn't used it with 4 people in the set. So hopefully it comes great. But if not, then be gentle and we'll try to work with it. But no, thank you for all the subscribers, all the likes, all the comments. We appreciate that. And ¿quién le quiere mandar saludos? A los SBC, San Bernardino. Oh, sorry, no todos son de San Bernardino. But hey, everybody from the IE entonces. All right, so real to it. Well, no, thank you again, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right.
All
See
right.
y'all.
Later. Peace.
Later.